More and more corporations are holding Bitcoin as assets in reserve on their balance sheet. Is Bitcoin gradually becoming the world's reserve asset? Hi, I'm Adriaan for Bitcoin for Beginners, and in this series What's Up Bitcoin, we take a look at recent news and developments around Bitcoin. Bitcoin is over a decade old and has outperformed all major assets in the world. Despite its outstanding performance, renowned individuals and financial institutions have often labeled it with all sorts of distrustful appellations in an attempt to diminish public interest. But the pioneer cryptocurrency is still going strong. Many businesses and organizations are gradually realizing that Bitcoin is powered by a revolutionary technology with solid fundamentals and therefore cannot be ignored. This explains why corporations have been buying up large sums of Bitcoin. So the question is Bitcoin gradually making its way as a global reserve asset? Before we answer that question, let's look at what a reserve asset actually is. Reserve assets generally exist in different categories: currencies, commodities, or basically any form of capital, etc. These assets need to be readily available, easy to transfer, and can be used to settle international payments and other kinds of transactions. Again, a reserve asset should be reliable enough in a way that it can be used to restore confidence in financial markets. The US dollar has been the dominant reserve asset across the world for a long time. That explains why individuals and businesses would hold a substantial amount of dollars. Which corporations have bought Bitcoin as a reserve asset? On August 11, 2020, MicroStrategy declared that it bought 21,500 BTC, making it the first public company to convert a significant portion of its cash reserves into Bitcoin. A month later, the company went ahead and bought an additional amount of almost 16,800 BTC, making it a total of more than 38,000 BTC, and that's the equivalent of $425 million including expenses. Surprisingly, MicroStrategy's CEO, Michael Saylor, was among one of those who rubbished Bitcoin years ago. In 2013, Saylor declared on Twitter that the days of Bitcoin are numbered, adding that Bitcoin was going to go down the same road as any other online scam. When asked what prompted him to make such a naive statement, Saylor said he forgot ever saying anything of that sort. With regards to MicroStrategy's decision of purchasing Bitcoin, the company outlined the following reasons. After months of careful consideration of how to mitigate risk for their corporate treasury program, they came to the conclusion that it would be safer to convert part of their cash reserve to Bitcoin. They see Bitcoin as a safer store of value than the existing assets in the market. As the world's most adopted cryptocurrency, MicroStrategy believes that Bitcoin is a dependable and attractive investment asset with greater long-term potential to appreciate when compared to holding cash, noting that Bitcoin has emerged as a remarkable addition to the global financial sector with very useful features to individuals and institutions. Before we continue this episode, if you like our content, please give this video a like and additionally subscribe to our channel for more of our updates. Tahini is a Middle Eastern restaurant chain based in Canada and was motivated by MicroStrategy's acquisition of Bitcoins to take a similar move. The company, however, did not convert only a part of its cash reserve like MicroStrategy, but decided to go all in by swapping its entire cash reserve into Bitcoin. According to Tahini's founder, Hammam, he took interest in Bitcoin after hearing Warren Buffett refer to it as rat poison. Nonetheless, he went ahead to learn more about the fundamentals of Bitcoin and concluded that investing in the pioneer crypto is much safer than holding cash. Hammam went further to state that he considers the traditional financial system to be a game of musical chairs as it lacks transparency and can be easily manipulated. Snappa is a Canadian-based graphic software company and was the third to follow in the footsteps of MicroStrategy and Tahini. The company's co-founder, Christopher Grimmer, revealed on August 24, 2020, that they have converted 40% of their cash reserves into Bitcoin. When asked what triggered the company to undertake such a move, Grimmer said most of the reasoning behind the company's decision revolves around the global economic uncertainty, which is caused mainly by the COVID-19 pandemic. Some of the reasons he outlined for buying Bitcoin were as follows. The company has been keenly observing how the buying power of the US and Canadian dollars is declining steadily after adjusting for inflation. For that reason, there is no need to risk depending on fiat money when there is a superior technology like Bitcoin. The company also considered Bitcoin's transparency to be a major advantage because it's easier to measure Bitcoin's stock-to-flow model with 100% certainty at any time, whether it's in the past or the future. According to Grimmer, such transparency isn't possible with traditional assets like fiat, commodities, etc., which are susceptible to manipulation. Grimmer rounded up by saying that the company's research team strongly believes that massive amounts of quantitative easing without a corresponding increase in production would usually end up in currency debasement. The most recent and maybe even most notable addition to the list of public companies adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet is Square. Square is well known for its Square app and the fact that they did already offer cryptocurrency trading on their platform. So they already have substantial familiarity with Bitcoin. On the 8th of October, they announced that they even invested for $50 million worth of Bitcoin, adding to their balance sheet. The private keys for this huge investment will go into cold storage, and they have a special crime insurance for it. This is what the company had to say about the reason and motivation behind this extraordinary move, which they published in a special short white paper. Quote, given the rapid evolution of cryptocurrency and unprecedented uncertainty from a macroeconomic and currency regime perspective, we believe now is the right time for us to expand our largely USD-denominated balance sheet and make a meaningful investment in Bitcoin. We view Bitcoin as an instrument of global economic empowerment. It is a way for individuals around the world to participate in a global monetary system and secure their own financial future. This investment is an important step in furthering our mission. End quote. Before we move to the final part of the video, please check out the pinned comment below for our special offer. From every indication, all the corporations that have invested in Bitcoin so far now believe in its fundamentals. As the purchasing power of Bitcoin rises, it could serve as a major leverage for public corporations' future capital deployment regarding entry into new markets, launching new products, and the acquisition of other companies. Not only corporations hold Bitcoin on their balance sheet, even some governments keep at least some Bitcoin in reserve, with Bulgaria being one of the largest government entity Bitcoin hodlers. Most fiat currencies tend to lose a small percentage of their buying power over time due to their inflationary nature. And while this is usually not noticeable by the average market participant or mainstream citizen, those who are keen to analyze market prices are usually quick to notice this phenomenon, which prompts them to immediately adopt a safer means of preserving their wealth. And a well-known rule in investing always has been follow the smart money. MicroStrategy was perhaps the first public corporation to start converting some of its cash reserves into Bitcoin, which immediately prompted other public companies to rethink their stance on the pioneer cryptocurrency. As more of these corporations continue to swap some of their cash reserves to Bitcoin, it indicates Bitcoin could in fact gradually be emerging as a strong contender among existing reserve assets. However, for Bitcoin to replace a currency like the US dollar, developers of the network would need to address Bitcoin's scalability to facilitate a potentially upcoming surge in adoption. This would in turn spur investor interest and help to drive more capital inflow into the Bitcoin ecosystem, resulting in a stabilized and less volatile price market, which in its turn again would make Bitcoin even more attractive as a reserve asset. And even the first indications we are seeing could ultimately not materialize for whatever reason. But we should still be paying close attention to this trend, because it is definitely a sign on the wall that larger corporations and investors apparently do take Bitcoin very seriously, especially in the perspective of global financial developments. That's about all. Don't forget to smash the like button to show your appreciation. And also, if you like our content and want to see more episodes like this one, then follow us by subscribing to our channel. If you already have done all that, check out one of the videos that are featured here. Looking forward to see you all next time. Take care.